My name is John Manning, and for Project 3, I chose to make an off-the-grid household. This house will be located in the Pacific region of America. The climate during the summer will be dry and warm with no excessive heat. Fall through spring it will be cold with heavy rainfall. This will affect my design as I will have sloped roofs to keep rain away from my ceilings. Energy, especially during the summer, I will use solar panels as the days are around 16 hours long, which will provide a very good source of energy. And then during rainy seasons and if I live near the coast, wind will replace solar and also create good energy for me. Anytime that there is a backup needed, we will have a backup battery. For water and wastewater, water will not be a huge obstacle as there is heavy amounts of rainwater all through the year, so I will implement rain barrels to collect this water. Also implementing a well, which collects around 1,400 gallons a day, will be more than enough because the average family needs around 500 gallons a day. To dispose of any of that water, we will use irrigation into our garden. I chose to go with concrete as my main building material as it conserves heat and is great for solar run houses. Concrete can be made locally and is relatively cheap. Household systems. For lighting, I'm not a big fan of overhead lighting anyway, so the use of candles would be very heavy, and any time that overhead lighting is needed, LED lights will be used as they save more energy than a traditional light bulb. An AC system will not be needed as it does not get terribly hot and can be replaced with ceiling fans. Keeping windows open will also create a cross ventilation to keep the house cold. For my garden, I chose to go with a half-acre area. For irrigation, I will use a gray water system, as I stated earlier, to irrigate the plants and keep them so there's no extra water needed. In this humid area, I will use vegetables such as kale, lettuce, and broccoli, and fruits grown in bushes such as blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. The natural soil here is already good, but with compost soil and a gray water system running through, it'll make the soil even more fertile. Also remembering to rotate plants every season will keep the soil healthy. For my waste management, composting of all natural byproducts by throwing them into my garden, and then recycling plastic, papers, and glass. Any leftover trash will be less than a bag a week, which can be taken to the local dump if needed. So the average family costs around 10,000 kilowatts a year. To install something that'll handle that, it'd be around 30,000 to install the solar panels, and around 5,000 to 10,000 for a small wind turbine. And then a good backup battery will also be around $5,000 to $10,000. My final cost would be around $40,000. Another item that I would like to implement would be a worm farm. This will help with the composting of my natural byproducts and will be more effective than just throwing them out in the garden. This will help with the garden with much soil and plant growth. One thing that I learned was how much a climate affects where you build a house at, as it affects your water storage and your energy consumption. One thing that surprised me was how much electricity a family uses every year. One thing that I would like to implement into my household is a rainwater collection system. Especially during the heavy rain seasons here, it would be very helpful. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.